Sort of. Welcome back to Unlocking the Code. First intro in the new studio, on the new gear, at the new table. For the rest of this year, I will be continuing the fit out of the studio, and we're going to do some soft starts. There'll be a couple of episodes as we head into the end of the year. However, at some point in January, I'm going to launch UTC3. There's going to be many changes. So for this episode, I'm going to pull out some of the joiners. This won't have a song. Going to put some more of those together as well. We'll just see how that goes. There'll be a song at the end still, and I've got some cool independent artists that have given me some music to use, and I really appreciate that. I'm just figuring out the best way to share that with you all. We're going to mess with the format a little bit. UTC3 is a whole new world. There's going to be variations to the show. These intros on some of the shows may not be a thing. There's multiple layers and levels that need to be employed. However, having this table here and the mic set up all the time, we're going to have to put a few episodes out before we see the new year in. And then we'll bring UTC3 in for what it's meant to be. I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of stuff. My mind is there's so much information, and there's multiple perspectives and different things you guys are going to hear and different ways that we're going to do it. Because the last 7 years I've learned. Now it's time to implement the learnings and the understandings that I've gained from doing this for the last 7 years. It's going to be cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to shut up. This is me and Daniel just having a chat. Rome wasn't built in a day. However, the Sanctum is finally open. I'm looking forward to what's coming. Thank you for all your support. Please look after yourselves. Be kind, be cool. Stay safe. And we'll talk soon. Cheers. Mate, welcome back. Or should I say welcome to the Sanctum.
Thanks for welcoming me. It's very welcoming in here. It's like very bright.
Yes, it is a manifestation of a dream. Now, I need to apologise straight away. The reverb in the room is quite high right now. So I apologise for that. There's not a lot in here apart from the table. But we needed to start, man. We needed to bless the Sanctum, which we did. We did a ceremony before we started tonight. And now that is done, we can get back to work. And we're here. And more in particular, man, you are here because without you, this room wouldn't have happened. And my heartfelt appreciation and gratitude for all the assistance you gave me. You know, we spent many nights and days.
We did. We're pretty tired.
Yeah.
Too. We just really kept pushing through, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
It's like, because when you got a mate over, it's like, and you got help, it's
Yes.
like, you take advantage of this situation.
We just keep going.
Yeah, I felt a little bit overworked at times from you. But
me too, man.
But
Me
it's
too.
all good.
Another energy drink. You'll be right.
Another energy drink, yeah. At least you don't make me drive home. Like,
That's right. Yeah.
There's some really awesome couches that never made it into this room.
No,
but
those two awesome black leather recliners that were supposedly for this room just aren't.
But they're extremely, extremely comfortable.
Yeah. I'd feed you. Come on,
Yeah.
you sound like it's slave labour, man. Come on, I'd
Well-
give you a feed. I'd look after you. And
No. That's totally different than like taking advantage of a situation.
So where do we start, mate? I mean,
There's a lot of purple in here.
There's a lot
and
of
I
purple.
didn't know how that was going to come
You
out.
didn't know, did you?
I was
Yeah.
really, I don't know. Well, I don't want to say skeptical. Like, I have to see it though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it looks awesome.
4 purple walls. I don't know, is something else. There's going to be more added to this room.
Oh, heaps more, yeah.
I remember I used to walk into this room and it didn't matter how many times I'd been in here. There's always something else that I hadn't seen before.
Yes.
Like there's so many little things like in hidden places.
Yes.
And, one day you just eye catches it and like, oh, don't know if I've,
Seen that before, yeah.
noticed it. So yeah, it's a little bit more. It's a lot cleaner. It's a lot more professional looking.
Yes. Yeah, and look, to be honest, man, like the purple, like this is a manifestation of a dream, right? I've always wanted, my entire life, I've wanted a purple room. Purple is my favorite color, has been forever, and I wasn't sure how it was going to look, to be honest. Well, look, firstly, let's get the platitudes and the gratitudes out of the way. So firstly to Brian, he come out and helped us put in the beautiful Flemish window from the early 1900s, and he gave us guidance on how to change the roof line, and he showed us the way forward, and I really appreciate Brian coming out and doing that. It was invaluable, his assistance, very much so. Angus came in and gave us a hand every now and again. He was good value as always.
He was really good for comic relief as well.
Watching you two work is so entertaining. For me, watching you two try and work together provides me immense entertainment. However, no, kudos to him as well, and my lovely wife, obviously, for allowing me to come up here many nights in to let me do this and support me behind doing this. And then Franco came in. Like last time I spoke to Franco, he was in Alice Springs, right?
Yeah.
He rocks up the day before my wife's birthday, right?
Yeah.
In the driveway, just rocks up out of the blue.
Oh, okay. No call,
no
message,
no nothing. Just rocks up.
Oh, okay.
And because he's been travelling in a van.
Yeah.
And I come in, he comes in here and he starts looking around because he's a builder. That's his trade. And he comes in here and looks around and he's like, you know what, man? I can help you finish this. And so basically we didn't put tape on the plaster. I didn't understand what tape meant. I now understand what tape means. So he taped all the joins, he cleaned up all the plaster, and he cut in all the purple. And I remember it was the second day, so we worked on it all Friday night, and then we're into the Saturday. And then into the Saturday, we started to put the purple on the walls. And I know that all you boys were like, oh, purple, really? Like, I know no one was real sure about it, right? And you know, so everybody understands I chose the colours for a reason. So the floor and all the trims around the doors and the windows and everything else like that is done in Portal Link grey. The black is Mythic, Mythic black. I've messed that up, doesn't really matter. The purple is actually a totally custom colour because it was called Magical Realm Purple, and it was probably about 6 or 7 shades lighter. It was it was not a male purple. I paint my daughter's room that colour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I went down to, and it's quite funny, Dave, give a shout out to Dave down at Mitre 10. He's an awesome bloke, and he put like 8 or 9 black into the colour, and it looks like velvet, man. It's so awesome. I kind of, the shade is from the 50s or 60s, the windows from the early 1900s. I'm pretty convinced the door is also from the early 1900s now. If you look at the glass in the door versus the glass in the window and how heavy the door is and the mechanisms in the door, because I took the door off, rebuilt the door, it's all the same. I can't even, every day I come in here and I go, is this actually real? You know what I mean? Like that, for me, that's how the manifestation is, right? It's unbelievable. So yeah, thank you to Brian, Angus, Franco for coming in and putting his finishing touches on it. To you, sir, to my wife, to all the awesome people that have, and so many of the listeners have reached out over the last few months asking about the studio, wondering about where it's at, where it's up to. I've sent progress shots to a whole heap of people because they're just curious as to where's the show, what's going on. And thank you very much to all those people. They were always so supportive, and I'm very thankful for that, and much gratitude. However, we should probably... I was curious to ask you, when did you first come here?
What do you mean?
Was it the first time you came? Was the refinery? Was it the blue couches or was it the old grey couches?
Blue.
It was blue.
Pretty sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've had the blue ones for a few years. They're still hiding in the container. I didn't get rid of them. I couldn't get rid of them.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
Throw them out.
Why don't you like the blue couches? They were
You just don't need to be carrying extra stuff anymore.
That's true.
It's about getting rid of the old stuff, not hiding the old stuff away.
What I find fascinating every time I sit in here is it seems so much bigger now.
Yeah.
The room itself. Whereas in fact, it's actually like a couple of inches smaller on all sides.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's right.
That's true.
Because we've added more plasterboard to the
We
walls.
added purling and plasterboard and everything else to the walls. So,
it's actually...
So physically it's smaller.
But it looks longer.
Longer and wider and bigger in all ways. And the trick that the purple plays on the eye with the grey, man, I couldn't have... Yeah, it's one of those things that you have a vision in your mind and it's like, I'm so sure this is going to look cool. But I wasn't sure, right? And I remember when the purple went on the wall on the Saturday, I did breathe a big sigh of relief because I'm like, yes, that looks awesome.
That's right. Yeah. So it's good to know that we weren't the only ones that were a little bit skeptical.
Everybody
was going to work out.
Everybody was, yeah.
But it was your vision, so it must have looked good in your head ever since you were like, what, little? You wanted a purple bedroom when you're a little boy?
Yeah, I wanted a purple room, yeah.
Right.
I've wanted a purple room. I mean, I suppose, we talk about the manifestation of this and look, we don't like the term journey here at UTC. However, there's no other real word in the English language to describe it. Because, look, I remember sitting in here when it was blue and it was a hot day, so I came in here to teach a class and the show had been stuttering. Everything about it had been stuttering. And I remember sitting here in that corner where you are in the chair and I had the key here, this key, which is from Egypt as well, right? So this key's come from all the way from Egypt. And that key was hanging up on remember the bit of timbers that used to run down the wall? Remember they had like the timbers running down the walls?
Yeah.
The key was hanging off one of those timbers.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember looking
I remember seeing that around.
Yeah. And I was looking up at that key and, I got the key because unlocking the code and that key was surrounded by a light blue wall.
Yeah.
And it hit me like a lightning bolt. I fucking hate light blue. You know what I mean? I just don't like. I would never paint anything light blue ever. Car, nothing would. That would not be like there would be 15 colours before I would get to that light blue that the studio used to be. And the thing is, that light blue then manifested itself into everything else. I like blue. I've got anything against blue, but it's not one of my colours, man. You're right. It's just not. And the whole room was blue, and then the chairs were blue, and everything was blue. And I just went, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this, right?
But purple is like one of the closest cousins to blue, but it looks so different.
So different. Well, purple doesn't actually really exist.
Doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist. It shouldn't exist. Yeah,
it does in this room.
It does in this room.
Yeah.
However, but it's deeper than that as well because, like, I was covering up termite nests. Did you remember the
Yeah, that was a concern.
There was a concern. There was a massive termite nest in the corner above your head there. And so this
it was part of the furniture. It was there for a long time.
Well, the two bookshelves that used to sit here. Yeah. You saw the back of them.
Yeah, because you're too afraid to move anything. Yeah. Like once you start moving things, then the work really starts.
Yeah. But I just basically one weekend I just started tearing it apart. And so this is what people don't know, that like in behind these walls, the guy that built this the trouble, it was so fascinating, right? So it was like on one hand he went to a lot of trouble to fashion all these random bits of timber to mount the masonite to. But in this wall on the back wall here, there was literally garden stakes that still had dirt on them, mate.
Oh.
Right, which is why the termites got in.
Okay.
Right?
That explains a lot.
It explains a whole lot. And there was so much timber in behind these walls. It was unbelievable, layer after layer. He drilled holes through the shed into he put a sheet up like that paper, that foil paper, like that.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
it's yeah. I know this stuff.
He drilled through the shed from the outside into the studio, into a bit of timber that was a garden stake to hold that timber, that sheet on. Like the things that I found when I tore the walls off were unbelievable, right? And there's two creepy things that I found.
Oh, no.
Okay, there's two creepy things that I found. So the first thing that I found was bone magic.
What?
There was...
Say that again.
Bone magic.
Bone magic.
Because, like, it's like I always felt in the refinery that I was holding the energy back. Like, the refinery was definitely a sacred space, and we made it that. But it was always like I was pushing stuff back, right? And then when the termites started to manifest inside the room properly, I was like, okay, there was pestilence in the walls, man, okay? And in the bottom of each wall, there was 4 bones.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then in this, where the channel is there, right? In the bottom of that channel, there was 3 dead frogs.
I'd have questions for the previous owner, mate. What was your intentions there?
Yeah. Well, see, this room was built to be a business/healing room. The guy that used to own this was a very strange guy. Okay, so this is when I came to rent this house, okay, many, like over 10 years ago now, because it was cheap, we sat around a table inside, and this dude, never met him before in my life, comes up and puts his hands on my shoulders and like feels my energy. And it was real creepy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You've never told me that.
No, that's what happened, man. And Kath's like, just hold it together. This house is cheap. Just hold it together. Right?
It's a cheap house.
It's a cheap house. Just hold it together. And look, blessed him, we bought that house off those guys. And however, yeah, there was bone magic in the walls, man. And the energy, I would come up here and like, I just got the shits one day basically and just started tearing the walls off. I got everything out.
Yeah.
And I just came in here with the crowbar and the hammer and just started ripping stuff off the walls. That's basically what happened. But what I didn't understand was what was behind the walls, man. That little termite, like the termite nest in the corner and the termite nest in the shells here, nothing. Every bit of timber in behind there was full of termites, every single bit. They were in this wall. They were everywhere. There was pestilence in the walls, man.
Yeah.
Like total pestilence in the walls.
And you wanted to do the whole room up in ply, and I suggested like using gyprock.
Yeah.
Because like if there's a fire, like ply will burn.
Ply will burn.
Yeah,
But it also,
it's easier to fix.
But it also spoke to Ben about it as well, because he's a resident pest guy. So listen, you've had termites in here before. They know where they are. He's done a treatment on the whole shed and the property and stuff, so they won't come back for years. However, he's like, no, plaster. And I found, do you know what's interesting? I think the plaster and the way the walls are is what's creating the reverberation as well. Because remember...
Yeah, it does have a bit of vibration in it. It'll bounce. Yeah, it'll bounce the sound back more.
Yeah. Look, we may end up having tiles in here. You know what I mean? We may have to put some sound tiles.
Oh, yeah.
After I put everything in, if there's still a lot of reverberation, we may just get some purple sound tiles.
We'll just knock a hole through the roof, mate. Big sound hole.
That's exactly.
Maybe not.
No. But the thing is, so like I lost count. I don't know how many times I've swept this room. You know, like a general dustpan and brush, right? Just a general one you buy from, I've got a green one out there. That green dustpan out there, I lost count at how many times I filled that at over 50 times. I
mean,
swept.
when pulling it apart?
Pulling it apart,
Yeah.
sweeping it, pulling it apart, sweeping it, pulling it apart, sweeping it. But then also getting in the gaps in the steel, because there was just termite nests, man, everywhere. Like I had to get in there and clean it all out, and I had to do that by hand. Like I would come up here, but it was just the energy as well, man. It was nasty, right? I don't know what intention he put into this room or what he did. The frogs in the pillar was weird, because there was no way, like they were big and they weren't toads, they were frogs, man. There was 3 dead frogs in there, and there was no way for those frogs to get in there. Like So he put them in there and then boarded it up and then let them die.
It kind of sounds dark.
It's weird, man. It was weird. And see that probably that took a few weeks in itself to get it to the point where I could ring you and go, hey, I'm ready to move to the next stage. Like that took night after night after night of just sweeping and digging and scraping and man. Like
None of us saw any of that.
No one saw any of that.
Wow.
No one saw any
You didn't
of that.
even share any of that.
No, man. No one has like
You're waiting for now.
I was.
This is the moment.
Hours and hours, man, of just clearing out termite nests and but also just like dark energy, man. Like that it was not pleasant. Like I would actually go from here and I'd go down to the hose at the house and I wouldn't go in the house. I would actually give myself a shower with the hose just to get the shit off me because of this. It was dark, man, and I don't know what was going on. And it's like when I got rid of it all finally, and I actually vacuumed. Like I bought an industrial vacuum cleaner. Like this is like I vacuumed everything out and I cleaned it all out. The room breathed a sigh of relief. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Mate, I don't think we want to ask that guy what his intentions are.
No, it's not.
Like,
It's not.
no.
We don't need to know, man. However, it was.
Don't want to know.
No, I don't want to know. Look, he was a bit of a strange guy. Now, I know he did have people that were against him, and I don't know whether it was some sort of warding or I don't know. It was weird, man. And the only reason it was 4 bones in each wall, like it was.
Yeah, it was intentionally
Yeah.
placed there. Like he was doing something.
And
Wow.
Then, and then the 3 frogs in the column, which was just like it was disturbing.
Right.
Like 3 petrified frogs. So we cleared all that out. Well, I cleared all that out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, the energy feels pretty amazing
It's unbelievable
in here
now.
right now.
It's unbelievable now.
After our little ceremony.
Yeah. It's unbelievable now, and the energy behind the room, and as I say, all the boys pitching in and giving me a hand, and all the support behind the scenes have made this what it is. However, yeah, like no one knows, man, the darkness that I dealt with and the dirt and the shit and like literal, like, yeah. The only thing I didn't find was evidence of snakes. Like that's what I was waiting. I was waiting to find a skin, Like,
Yeah,
I was
right.
waiting,
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that guy had against snakes, but just as well, eh?
Yeah, because I always had like I get mice in here pretty much every winter, like because I come.
Well, thank God he didn't know real estate. I mean, the house was cheap.
The house was cheap.
He wasn't good at real estate. He was doing other things, though.
I don't know, man. It was and the cutting the window in the wall as well. Like again, thank you to Brian and his expertise to changing the roof line and cutting the window in the wall. But that's just transformed the room so much. Like because now, if you look at that window's always been there.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? It doesn't. It looks like it's been there the whole time.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was an emergency trip to Bunnings, and we had a bit of a mission on that day to get.
We
the window
did,
in.
Yeah. We lost a few tape measures
Yeah,
along the way.
we
We've
had
lost
to
some
buy-
gear.
Yeah.
We've had to replace it. They turn up again later.
Exactly. Yeah, all the gear that we replaced just turns up again later. Some go down the track. Yeah, man. And look, as I say, that was pushing to get that roof line done and pushing to get that window done. And you are right, like because it's not often you have multiple sets of hands. And everyone was tired because we indulged around the campfire the night before.
Yeah, some of the nights were like working week nights too.
Yeah, that's right. Because that was the
not
only time
just-
we had. That's
Yeah, that's right. So we went pretty hard, when we were together. So
we nearly killed each other with the roof sheets. Remember that?
I was always worried about the roof ones going up.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
then someone suggested some clamps.
yes, yeah. And you had those jacks. Those jacks was just unbelievable.
Those jacks, because we pretty much did that on our own.
Yes,
that part of the roof.
we did. No, both.
used
Me and you
jacks.
did both the roof. We
Yeah.
did all the roof. It was just me and you with those jacks. That's all. Oh no, Angus helped me with the last panel.
And a shitload of glue.
A lot of glue. A lot. like a lot of glue and a lot of screws. Yeah. So just keep screwing it in, and it won't come apart.
Yeah. Yeah, just doing everything by feel. I feel like we need another screw over here.
Just put a screw in the corner there. Just put a screw in.
Just put 10 more screws in.
Yeah. How many screws do you reckon? Because I didn't take any of them out. There's hundreds. I think I've got a box of 500, and there's not that many left.
Yeah. Some people apparently pull them back out and cover up the hole because the glue's meant to do.
Yeah, the glue.
Enough, but I just leave the screws in.
Oh, it's structural. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Right? But what about the steel made of, I don't know, the adamantium with the steel? Like some of these beams, I don't know what steel it's made out of, but it broke like. Well, we tried to
modify them a little bit and just trying to cut through it or something. It's I don't know.
What's that? What was it made out of?
Witchcraft in the steel, mate. It's witchcraft in the steel.
Well, how many drill bits did we burn? Like 4 drill bits in a row or something? We did a dash to get drill bits, didn't we?
Well, you get self-drilling screws. You're trying to put them in. How many of them fell on the floor? Didn't even make a dent.
And I ended up getting, to fix that issue, I paid like $10 a drill bit for like proper carbide diamond tip mini drill bits, and those 2 drill bits got us through the rest of the room.
Walked into Mitre 10 and you got any drill bits that can penetrate witchcraft.
Yeah, exactly. the adamantium or whatever unobtainium steel.
Yeah.
But yeah, putting the roof up I'd never done anything like that. I mean, the other thing that everyone needs to know as well is that majority of the stuff that I did in this room, I did for the first time. Like I'm a mechanic.
And in your head, it doesn't take long until you actually do it.
Exactly. In my head, it's
we're
like,
just going to do this.
Yeah. Well, Kath's favourite joke was, can you believe you said it was going to be 2 weekends?
Yeah, 2 weekends. Yeah. Yeah, that's like me with my car project.
Yeah, exactly. Any project.
I can fix that in a couple of weekends.
Yeah. I think I think we just delude ourselves. You know what I mean? It's like if we just pretend that it's going to be 2 weekends and everything's going to be done.
Yeah.
Whereas
dude maths,
exactly. Well, I mean, how many hours? You picked up the phone.
All of them.
Yeah, you picked up the phone the other day. It's like I was just on the phone to the ombudsman because of the some
ombudsman.
Dudes, because I helped this build studio.
Fair work. Fair work.
Yeah. Help this dude build his studio. He hasn't paid me yet.
Yeah.
Man, it took I don't know, man. I tried to, thinking about us doing this show. I was like, how many hours did it take? I don't know. Hundreds.
It took a couple of weekends.
Yeah, a couple of weekends, exactly.
That's the story.
That's the story.
Sticking to it.
Well, before you got here, I was at least 100 hours in. Before you even got here, cleaning the walls and getting it out. Like you get it. No one knows, man.
I haven't been on a podcast for a while, but I've spent a lot of time in this room.
That's right.
Over the last 2 months.
Yeah. We haven't done a show in ages. We haven't actually had haven't had a good time in here in ages. Like, because, this room it's not always podcast.
A lot of jokes have been said.
Oh, we've definitely
had a great time.
We've had a great time.
You didn't like hanging around with me?
No.
Just using me for my labour?
Exactly, yeah.
I'm
just
calling the ombudsman back.
Exactly.
And my counsellor.
And the counsellor and everyone. No, I shouldn't have said that. We had a great, but I mean like the room that it used to be. We just sit in here and have a good time as opposed to we've had a good time in the room. And I think you are right there, right? The joviality and just working, giving each other a bit of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was the energy of the room and even the energy of the build. Even when we were tired, it's like, yeah, look, we'll just finish this bit. Like,
well, I think that's how you get things done. Is you got to set a goal.
Yeah.
No, we're not leaving until
we're
this
not leaving
part's
until
done.
this is done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We got this roof, got this side of the roof up.
We estimate an hour. It takes 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly. 4 hours.
Yeah.
But look around, man. It's done now. And this is there was so many times, because I think I stripped it in April and we're in November, end of November. I started stripping it not long after my birthday because I think it was my birthday and I did mushrooms and the mushrooms told me that it was time to go. So, it was like a few days after I had that and spoke to the mushrooms that the vision went, you know what, we're done. And the reason is, it's actually what it all is, man, is it's based in self-worth.
Yeah.
Right? Because my intention with that journey was self-worth. That the mushroom journey was self-worth. And I laid out on the concrete, giggling like a madman for like an hour. Right? It was not pleasant for people involved. But I couldn't stop. You know, mushrooms had a hold of me. You know what I mean?
You just got to go with it. You can't fight the mushrooms.
You can't fight the mushrooms, man. You got to go with it. And then it's like, and I couldn't get up. And it's like, well, you don't have a purpose. That's why you can't get up.
Oh,
all right, because I'd lost my purpose.
It's a bit low for the mushrooms to just like kick you while you're down.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you don't have a choice, man. You know what I mean?
It's just brutal.
It was a bit nasty. Like I was trying to have a good time, but no, and it's like once you've got a purpose, you can get up. And it's like the reason that the blue and everything else never worked is that it was not me. And the reason it's based in self-worth is the blue I got the blue paint for free. I got that for free.
Yeah,
I got this for free.
Yeah.
I got, you know what I mean?
I remember you saying that, yeah.
So because I didn't think I was worth putting the time and effort into to actually make the manifestation of what I really wanted to achieve. And here we are, right? But again, for me personally, I'd never done a lot of this stuff. Like the Challenger looks good, man. I noticed the Challenger, like the panels look nice after we sanded them back and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that car turned out good.
Yeah.
Because I've done plenty of car work, right? So my mind was like, yeah, just bogging a car and giving it a sand and you know what I mean? It'll be right, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take a couple of weekends.
Yeah, because you helped me with my car.
Yeah.
We sanded it down in a day.
Yeah. We sanded it down in a day. We cleaned the panels up. You know what I mean? We did a whole heap of work on it. And that was me. That's what I can do. I'm a mechanic, not a builder, right? And I thought sanding the walls would be the same.
Well, I only became a builder like right before you called me and says,
that's right,
let's start a project. That's when I became a builder.
Yeah, that's right. This is only your second or third project.
No, I've been doing like work at Tambourine and stuff, and I'm just started fixing holes, and I just go to Brian, how do I do this?
Yeah.
You know, am I doing it right? And it's not for any other reason more than like confidence in yourself, really. Like I think we can do a lot of these things, but it's because absolutely. we haven't done it before. There's a confidence thing.
Well, I think it's a self-worth issue too, man. Like, I mean, part of mine, like as I say, I was always like the mechanic. I wasn't a builder. I wasn't good with timber. I'm good with steel, which is why everything's steel behind here. Like I made that decision because I can work with steel, right? Yeah. All the brackets and everything behind these walls.
Well, apparently you can't drill through some of this steel.
Yeah, well, apart from the unobtainium steel, we can't. We need a $400 drill bit to get through that. However, it's like you convince yourself that you can't do stuff, or it's like it's in your mind. It's like, oh no, I can't do that. That's not who I am. But
there's two types of people. People like want to do something, say yes, I can do that, and realize they can't do it and need help. Or like someone who's a little bit more realistic. Yeah, it's like I've never done that, but I'm gonna have a go.
Yeah, exactly.
And you learn something as you go.
Well, speaking of learning something as you go, well, you saw it. You saw the plaster, right? So it's like the first run of plaster here, and as you went around the room, I got better at plastering, right? Because it looked like a cocaine sorting facility in here, mate. I tell you,
it was put together in a weekend. Yeah, like literally,
mate. The amount of sanding. Like I think I put a photo on Facebook of me just covered in dust, right? Yeah. And that happened multiple times. That wasn't the first time.
Then we started cutting it outside.
Yeah.
Of this room. Because it was just it's too much.
And this is the whole thing. Everything. It's been great to finally take my shed back, because for months everything just had a layer of dust, plaster dust or sawdust, or you know what I mean. Just because of all the work that's been constantly ongoing, it's been great to take my shed back. But I can't I don't think I took photos because I thought slather it on, it'll sand back all right, won't take too long. You know what I mean? She'll be right, mate. No. Hours, man. Hours. sandpaper and, you know, like the reason I wear tape on my wrist is because of just the sanding that I've had to do holding the, you know what I mean? Like that's, I've aggravated when I broke my wrist. Like that's how much sanding I've done.
The room really appreciates it too. Your sacrifice.
Yeah, I have sacrificed. Well, and the thing is, we all left a little bit of blood behind as well.
Should I say your devotion to the room?
Yes. Well, devotion is the key, because it's like there were so many times where it seemed like it was going to not happen. And I just come in here and do something every day. Just do something. Cut a panel, cut a board, sand something back, tidy something up, do a bit of sanding. Even if it was just half an hour a day, I just come in every day and try and do something. And then, thank you to Franco, who just came in and in 2 days took it.
The last bit happened pretty quickly.
Unbelievably
Like you
quickly.
saw my face when I walked in. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I've spent hours in here. Like, now it's just done.
Now it's done. And Franco did that. But the thing is, we talk about skill sets. So we're both building our skill sets through this room. He came in and I watched him.
Yeah.
Because he works by himself as well, right? He looks after rental properties and all that sort of stuff. That was his business. And he knows all the tricks to make the holes and the cracks and everything disappear. Mm-hmm. And to watch him work, it's like there's a master at work there. You know, he's done his 10,000 hours. Yeah. He made, like, that would have taken us, how many days would it have taken us to do what he did in like 36 hours? You know, like,
would have said that it will be done in an hour and it would have taken all day.
All day or 2 days, a whole weekend at least. I reckon we would have had to add a day and we wouldn't have been able to cut it in as well as he's cut it in. And the way that because he did the bulk of the painting, and the reason it looks like velvet is because of the way he painted it. Like, and I watched him do that. Like,
his get it done mode is a little bit different to ours. I mean, we weren't even like on the weekends when it was actually a weekend, not a work night. Yeah. We weren't even like using it as an excuse for, you know, a big piss up or anything.
No,
we weren't drinking or anything. We
were
were in our own version of get it done mode.
Yeah. We got after it, man, on a number of days, a number of weekends, Saturdays and Friday nights and Saturdays. Like we did that a few times, Friday night into Saturday or Saturday night into Sunday. You know, and the last little bit, it happened in 2 days, man. Like it was unbelievable.
You know, this post over here, I'm never going to forget, right? There's a post in the room. So
tell us now. I'll give I'm gonna roll myself a cigarette, and you can tell some stories about what actually happened. Take it away.
Well, this post here, I'm never going to look at it the same, right? Because I know how it was put together. It was put together in Triffin's own personal style. Only Triffin could do it this way. And I said, no, I don't like this idea of yours, mate. He's like, just hear me out. I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't like it. And, you know, we don't disagree hard. It's just like, you know, dog turns his head away at the other dog. Like, we don't. I'm done. Yeah, we don't. I don't like it. So his plan, and I can see, the thing is, I can see through your intentions, mate. He's like trying to distract me. Oh, mate, that window over there, if you could just work on this window. Okay, so I'm doing the whole window on my own. Most things we had been doing together. But all of a sudden, I have to do the window on my own, right? We've split up our team building into individual building.
Our team building exercise.
Yeah. So that I don't look at this post being put together, because it's like a half-cut open post, like a U shape. Yeah. And we both thought, wouldn't it look great if it was fully covered, you know, and looked like solid? So it needs plaster.
Which it does.
What do you put behind plaster? You got to build it out, right? You got to build it out off the steel. So I would have probably done something a little bit different, but your idea was to fold some more steel over it, attach it, and just glue it up. And I think, look, it's not a leaning post, but it works. It actually looks brilliant. It looks like a full solid steel post, the whole thing, even though one side is plaster, one side is steel.
You can't tell.
And behind the plaster is a bit of tin.
Some dodgy purlings bent up with some steel. Yeah.
I'm going to call it tin. Just exaggerate.
It's a bit of scrap tin.
Just a bit of alfoil shoved in behind it. No, it's not that bad. But it actually looks really good.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like admitting that. It looks good.
Do you know what's even funnier?
But I know what's behind it.
Do you know what's even funnier?
What?
I did the roof the same. That one up at the top.
Confession time,
the one that blends into the roof perfectly that also looks like it's all steel.
And was Franco here and you told him to go and do some other stuff?
No, I did that while he was gone. When he came back, I'd half done it.
Yeah, righto.
He was up and glued in when he came
right.
in. Yeah.
So, if I have a project, I'll probably won't call you. No, I'm only joking.
Hey,
that's way too harsh.
While we're casting stones at people, what about you and Angus in this panel above the window? Do you have any idea how much gap filler is in there to make that look?
Well, I think it started out as too long, and the Angus way of doing things is just push it with a bit extra more force.
Just hit it with a hammer,
make
basically.
it fit. Yeah, smack it in with a sledgehammer. She'd be right.
Angus said himself, he's like, listen, you and Daniel are there for the finesse. I can't really help you because I'm I'm more of a blunt object.
Yeah, his words.
Yeah, it's his words. That's not us. Yeah.
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 Great. He'd be great, like for
Well, when we put
he's better at demolition.
When we put the panels up and some of the big jobs he gave me a hand with, perfectly fine, no problem. Yeah.
Absolutely, and really appreciated his extra height. He's a bit taller than me.
Yeah, he's a bit taller than us, so he goes, you're a bit more reach.
Yeah. And he sort of comes in, he's like, he's fresh energy when we're out here tired, and he just sort of tells us a funny story. We're laughing. And, he lifts the room up.
Lift the room up, yeah.
Yeah,
and
so...
helped us push through.
And he's tall, so he can hold stuff for you, too.
Exactly. Then we pushed, well, then if you think the nights that he turned up, we were not struggling, but we were tired.
We needed him for comic relief.
Yeah, we needed a bit of a boost of energy.
Yeah.
So, we do really... And, as I say, and everyone has got their little touch. And do you know what? For me, the awesome part is that all of you, and me too, as I say, I was with you guys. I wasn't sure how it was going to look. But every bloke that sees it goes, that's awesome. You know?
Yeah.
So that's gratifying.
And no one died during the making of this room. But someone almost died.
Look.
Someone almost got electrocuted.
It was only...
And it was me.
It was you and Brian.
Spoiler alert. It was me and Brian.
You and Brian.
Yeah.
Now, look, just before you continue with your story, I'll just give you a little bit of background, okay?
Well, your background's not as an electrician.
No, it's not. I'm not an electrician, okay? I want to hear what my wife told you as well before we finish this little part of the story. However, to my knowledge, it was isolated. To my knowledge, well, not to my knowledge, it was definitely the switch that is supposed to be for the shed was off at the box, right? There was no, in my mind, but remember the guy who built the studio also did the wiring, okay? So,
okay.
Yeah, he did it himself, okay?
We'll blame him, and you're not an electrician.
And I'm not an electrician. As far as I knew, to the best of my knowledge, it was isolated. Take it from you.
Well... Brian and I were doing this window.
Yeah, cutting the wall out, doing the window.
There's metal, like...
It's a metal frame.
Yeah, it's a metal frame. So wires exposed, they're just been cut. They're dangling right in front of us while we're working. And we had to move them. And I picked one up and I went to move it. And it sparked on the metal frame. I'm like, oh, this is live. Dude, we nearly died. One of us could have died.
And then
we've gone out. So the power box is on the house, right?
And it's off.
So we've gone to investigate the power. And
power was off, wasn't it? Yeah.
So your missus comes out. You boys right? Like, because we're playing with the power box on her house, right?
Well,
like,
the house had gone out as well, remember? The house, when you sparked it shorted the house out.
Yeah, a few times. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Don't forget the conduit. Because we put it in the conduit.
Oh, yeah. I've had to pull a conduit off.
But then it crisscrossed itself in the conduit, and I thought it burned holes in the conduit.
Yeah, that's right.
So look,
you can smell it. Everything. Yeah. Plastic burning. No burnt skin.
No one. Did you die? No one got electrocuted. Okay, there was a minor space in time where someone may have been electrocuted.
Yeah. On some other timeline.
That's right. Some other timeline, we got electrocuted because the house kept blowing as well.
Yeah.
And Cal's like, "What are you guys doing?
What is going on out there?" We thought we were just using too much power with the tools.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, there's some live wires dangling around here. So we fixed it up. Brian switched it off.
Yeah, we isolated it properly.
Yeah, and
individualised the wires.
Your wife is like, she's sort of looking down, embarrassed. Triff is so good at so many things. She's really encouraging you, you know. No, he's really good at so many things. I just really worry about him around power. I just don't trust him with power. He's just not an electrician.
I'm not, man.
So it's her word. You're not an electrician.
No, mate. Look, the thing is, full disclaimer, I've shocked myself multiple times with the car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how everyone goes, I just wire a stereo in?
Yep.
I seriously electrocuted myself trying to put a stereo in my Toronto. I don't know how, man.
No one does that.
I know.
It's
I
not
understand
even possible.
that. I know that. Yes, it is.
Wow. That's almost a talent.
Yeah. So she's right to be concerned because I'm not an electrician. But that was the only incident. Everyone gave a little bit of blood along the way, but there was no other serious incidents that took place.
No. That's
the dodgy ladder gave us a few scares every now and again when we were doing the roof before we worked out how to lock that second ladder in properly.
Oh, yeah. Our tool for holding the roof panels up let go, and we were using a lot of our own strength.
Yes.
And it's slipping, and it's like, we really needed like a third set of hands to fix that up.
Yeah. So what are they called? House jacks. Actually, you
house jack.
Take them with you. They're out here before when you go.
Yeah, I'll take them.
Yeah. The house jacks, and we needed an extra set of hands. Realistically, if we think about it,
we thought that was our extra set of hands, but it's on a slope too.
Yeah, well, that was the slope.
So you had to go down and off the ladder and fix that up, and I had to take the weight of my side and your side. Yeah. I'm like Atlas holding up the sky for a little bit.
Yeah, you were. You were like, and you're like, hey man, can you hurry up?
Yeah, it's like, dude, no. I'm like, if you hear me say I got this, like, doesn't mean I got this.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I necessarily got it, and I've had it for a little while.
Yeah. It's been 5 minutes. Stop making tea.
Well, the thing is, we probably should have figured out how to use the house jacks before we started to use them.
That's irrelevant.
Because I tell you what, the flat roof panels, the big one, because I put the last big one on with Angus. We took 5 minutes out of our day to figure out how the jacks work, and they're totally fine. But all the issues
they are.
We just didn't know how to use them properly. You actually can jack them up.
I know that.
You flick the little ratchet.
Oh no, I know that.
Then why didn't you tell us that?
Watching you. Because it's your room, you're in control.
Why didn't you tell?
It's your project.
You idiot. You tell me this now.
I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure we were using that. If you weren't using that, I don't know where I was.
No, well, it's the little flap thing. Right. The reason they kept dropping.
Look, all this happened at like 11 o'clock at night.
That is true.
With work the next day.
That is true. We both were. Everyone was working the next day. And as I say, man, I really, truly appreciate the time you put in, because as much as it was awesome, man, it was great to hang out and great to learn together as well, because we had to figure that stuff out. Like, we hadn't done an angled roof before. We hadn't done, it looks perfectly flat now. But how much time did that take to mess around with those purlings and all that stuff to make it look that way? You know what I mean? Like and the little scallops in the plaster. You can see one in the corner there a little bit, but I didn't see those scallops before we did it. It was only after that I saw those scallops. And what we'd done that I didn't notice and you didn't notice is all these walls. So like here was a scallop, under here was a scallop, in most of the corners were scalloped. And that's how much plaster's been done, man. They were all scalloped, and you can't, only because the light's in that corner, you can sort of see a bit of a line there. but the rest of them you can't, right? Everything is like the plastering, man. I can't even tell you. Days, dude, days. Sanding, going back, sanding, going back, touching up, going back, sanding, touching up, and then Franco coming in and going, "Yeah, you did it all wrong."
Don't you hate that?
You did it all wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what are we going to have to do, man? Do you want me to sand it out or what are we doing? He goes, no, don't worry about it. What he actually did is he put tape over the top. You can't tell.
Yeah.
But he put tape over the top.
No, you can't.
And feathered the plaster. It was amazing to watch how he did it.
Yeah.
So quick as well. And he feathered the plaster and, yeah, you can't tell. You can't tell.
And I didn't know that.
No.
Like, I just use it for repairing holes and that.
Yeah. But basically, even on the outside,
yeah,
that now holds the plaster together and it won't crack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Genius.
Yeah. And as I say, when you watch someone who knows what they're doing...
You tell him how you put the pole together.
No, listen, I don't like the fact that... Does it work?
I haven't leaned on it yet.
I would lean on it.
Okay.
I'll lean on it. All right. I wouldn't throw anyone against it.
No, that can't happen.
Yeah.
No, it's not built for that.
But even the downlights, like I wasn't sure how, like...
I think that's why the purple works is because of the downlights.
Yes, and the middle light as well. So when I get an Edison bulb in here, so I'm going to get an Edison bulb there.
Yeah.
I've already ordered the little adapter for it, for the Edison bulb. And, yeah, so you've got... And these LED lights too, they're fully programmable on the phone. Like I can tune them to music and all that sort of stuff. I haven't played with them yet.
Yeah.
Even like the board, right? The board I haven't really played with yet.
Yeah, so we've got not just a new room, we've got new podcasting equipment.
We've got an audience, mate. So yeah, I've got all sorts of new toys that I can play with. Okay, you know, if when you say something stupid, I could go.
Or sad, yeah.
Yeah, or sad.
Yep. Emotional damage.
Or.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of weird ones too. Like this is one of the weird ones. Dun, 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 dun. So we got new toys to play with, but I can program that board with songs and noises or whatever that as well. So
some are got to go.
Some are got to go. There's three that'll stay. There's 9 buttons on there. There's 3 that'll stay. The rest will go. You know. So, but I just wanted to. Number one, I wanted you to be the first episode because of what you put into it. You deserve that, and thank you again. And I just wanted to kick it off, man. And look, I don't know that we need to go too much longer, mate. Is there is there much more to tell?
Mate, we've nearly had a roof fall on us. We've nearly been electrocuted.
Yeah, we bled.
Yeah, someone created a paper mache post over there. It's just getting worse and worse.
It's just paper mache, yeah. It's not even.
It's just paper.
It's not even
mache.
plaster, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't even tell that it goes into the roof, right?
Oh,
I remember you being
I come in
worried.
and I did test it. Okay, the other day.
Did you?
After it was painted. I pushed on it a little bit. I saw a little bit of flex. I left it alone because it looks good.
It looks good, man. Don't touch it. It's fine.
That's right.
But I know you were very concerned because at the top because we've angled the roof differently, there was the gap there, and I know you were very concerned about that gap, and you can't even see it now. Doesn't even exist.
No, people don't realise how much technical work and thought has gone into covering up some exposed beams in the roof.
Yeah,
because it's such a weird shape.
Yeah, and again, multiple beams. We've reshaped the roof line. The roof was not the way that it is. It's the room is taller, but it's leaner. It's not how it used to be. The roof line is entirely different.
No, and but the energy is so different in here. Like now that when you share that story, like about, I don't know, whatever that
The bone magic, yeah, whatever was going
devil
on.
gin dude was doing.
I don't know what he was doing.
Right?
Yeah.
It sounds like voodoo. But
Yeah, it sounds a bit like voodoo. It's old school bone magic stuff.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, this house was built in 92, 91, 92, I think it was built. So that's, 32 years, and he bought it off the builder.
Well, from someone who just walked in the room back then, I would just, it is what it is, right? But how I feel now, like in comparison, I can say, yeah, that was a dungeon.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. That's like, in the refinery, it got to the point where...
nothing bad ever happened.
Nothing bad ever happened. It was a very sacred space.
Energy, but the blue is can be a bit dismal after a while to look at that.
Well, they call it being blue, don't they? And I think that it just got to a point, and the show got to a point as well, where it's like it hadn't lost its way, but I'd allowed it to take a direction. Again, it's not a negative thing, and most of it was probably in my head, I would say. However, I needed to relaunch Unlocking the Code as me. Because, I mean, for me, and, that's the other thing too, right? And you are the catalyst, by the way, because the studio is not the only thing that's getting a rebuild, right? I weighed in today at 81.6 kilos, right?
Now, the catalyst, you mean because I took a picture of you in our men's group?
No, and you said no. When we went, because we also had a failed Yowie trip. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
we haven't mentioned that, have we?
We did. No, we haven't talked about that.
No. So actually, that's my invoice.
You were
isn't
so
it?
upset.
That's my invoice. That's my invoice for this studio. You want me to come Yowie hunting with you?
Yeah, that's right. But
we drove 4 hours into the middle of nowhere to find a locked gate, man.
Yeah, yeah, I know. A locked gate, on a public road.
On a public road, yeah.
So, you were so down.
Yeah.
And you were oh, it's all my fault. Felt so bad. We ended up having a good night.
We did end up having a good night. But that night, right, I was talking about, and look, this is where, I don't want to, this is about, so basically myself and Daniel are going to continue the series we started earlier this year, which is Cost of Awareness. Or in this case, unawareness. Because I was still training at that point, right? I was still working out, all that sort of stuff. And I had it in my mind that being under 100 kilos was okay for me, right? And we were sitting around the fire at the men's shed after the failed Yowie trip, having a good time.
Brian saved us.
Yeah. Thank you again, Brian. Yeah. You saved us and got us a place to camp. And I was talking about fitness and getting fitter. And I don't know whether you consciously said it or you said, well, how come you're not skinny then? Right? Is what you told me. And I
do not remember.
Yeah, you did, right? And I remember that. And I'm like, and I said to you, it's because I used to be big. And I did. I used to be 120 kilos, right? Which I think about now is unbelievable. However, and then you invited me to Men's Development Group to give a presentation, which was awesome. And I'm looking forward to, and by the way, Men's Development Group will be sponsoring UTC3 in the new year. Moving forward, we'll talk about that off air. However, you took a photo of me presenting, and it's quite funny. I'm wearing the same jeans that I was wearing that night, and I barely fit into those jeans.
Yeah. When
I came there, and to me, I look like a melted drumstick or something like that, right? I was wearing and I had no idea that that's how I looked to the world.
Cameras always do that to you.
I understand that. Doesn't matter.
You look normal, No. You've always looked normal.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
But cameras have a way of doing that.
Yes, well, but that's...
You don't want
again,
a photo to look like that.
No. Yeah. Well, the photos that I posted on Facebook the other day were two candid shots. One that was taken of me at the field trip that we went on in June that is coming up. That's secret school business for later. And another candid photo of when I was at hunting. And they're two completely different people. So... As the studio has shed its skin and then had its new skin rebuilt onto it, I've also done the same. And the parallels between the two have been quite fascinating, because as the studio shed its skin and then got rebuilt and became stronger, I shed my skin and rebuilt and became stronger. And I'm not done, man. There's a whole. We'll talk about it in cost of awareness or unawareness in the next episode that we do. So I don't want to go too much deeper there. However, I just want to say thank you. I know it was not your intention, and I know you didn't mean any offence or anything else like that. I know that. However,
just took a photo. You said it, and I was like trying to make you feel better. You're like, no, man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you said, I want you to tell me.
Well, no, I pulled him up, and I said, I told a couple of the boys, I said, listen, if I ever look like that again, if I ever allow myself to get
slap me or something,
can you tell me? Honestly,
I thought you gave permission to slap you.
Yeah. I'm going to slap you now. Yeah. What did I say to you? I just want you to tell me that I know 3 fat people and you're 2 of them, mate.
Wow.
However, no, thank you for that, because it's quite fascinating, the culmination of the journey as well. Do you know what it is, man? I was standing up there at the men's development group as a representative of Unlocking the Code.
Yeah.
That was me delivering the ideas and the things that I've developed through this show. And the bottom line was, regardless of whether you thought I looked normal and, and everyone said, oh, no, you're overreacting or whatever, but I wasn't, because I've lost 20 kilos. So, I was 17 kilos and I feel a lot better and a lot stronger.
It's huge, eh?
And, there's a whole, I want to talk about that in cost of unawareness, which will be our next episode. It's not a cost of awareness, it's cost of unawareness.
Right.
It's going to be, so start ticking that one over in your mind. However, Unlocking the Code, number one, there's 2 epiphanies that I want to finish with. Unlocking the Code, I realise it's whatever the fuck I say it is, man. Because it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Unlocking the Code is whatever I say it is. Right? Also, you need, and I'm just showering platitudes on you over here, mate. You need to take credit for where focus goes, energy flows.
Yeah, mate. It's the new mantra.
That was me and you in this room.
Yeah, that just fell out, hey.
Well, actually, we were just chilling out in here that night, weren't we? We were just in the recliners.
No, that was on our podcast, Cost of Awareness.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it just came out on that podcast.
Yeah, because that's, and, if I think about the studio.
Now it's on a logo.
Now it's on a logo, and we'll be on all the logos. But it's that's where focus goes, energy flows, man. And it's like I've seen that happen now within myself. And I think the physical transformation for myself is really, if I am to be the head or the representative of Unlocking the Code with all you boys and everyone, all the awesome listeners, I needed to be a better version of myself.
Yep.
But now you look at the room, of course, like in order to sit in here and be in the sanctum, like it has to be that way, and it's fascinating how that happens.
Do we have an official name for the table?
No, we don't.
Settle?
No, we don't. We don't have an official name for the table. So anyone wants to send in some ideas for the table, we're totally open to that. It's like the resolute desk doesn't work. Round table doesn't work. It's a big rectangle. I don't know. It's not and because we did the Sanctum, right, which is Latin for sacred space, right? It's not an altar. That's not what it is.
The desk.
I don't know. I'm open to ideas on the table. So you awesome listeners, send me a message. Let me know. And look, have you got anything else, man? I feel like
I did have a question for you.
Yes, please.
If somebody wanted to start a project, can you give like a little bit of like be realistic with expectations?
Yeah.
And like, what advice would you have for somebody who is thinking about starting a similar project. Might not be a studio, but like
something
trying
like
to do something,
or something like
haven't done it, completely newbie.
Look, I think so. The good things that I did was I made a fairly good estimation of the materials that I needed, and I bought them all at once. I had some resources become available, and I used those resources to buy most everything that I needed at once. Yeah. Right, so I bought all the plasterboard. So
there's a lot of pre-planning.
Yeah, you
plan everything out.
You remember,
your head.
I was in logistics, so I plan stuff. Right, I'd like to have a plan in play. I want to see it play out a certain way. I've managed multi-million-dollar projects before. It's fascinating, right? So it's like I say that I haven't done construction. I have, but just in mining, oil and gas. Okay, so big mechanical things, tanks, pumps, lines, all that stuff. I've done all that. Right, but I've never done building a house builder. You know what I mean? I've built plenty of stuff, managed logistical projects and engineering projects, all that stuff, but I've never done it in a building sense. So planning is very important. Overestimate your budget. To be honest, this studio has cost quite a bit more purely because of cost of living, to be perfectly honest. Like the price of... When I costed everything out in January this year, and then I purchased it in May or June or whatever it was, and then it cost the initial purchase cost an extra $500, and that was just materials, nothing else. Yeah. And that $500 was supposed to be for ancillaries. So I planned it out, right? It's like, okay, this is how much my materials are going to cost. Here's an extra $500 to basically suck up in stuff that I didn't know that I needed, because that's the other thing too. I would text Brian, or when Brian was here, or I'd talk to people, I'd talk to you, and you're like, oh, you need this, you need this, you need this. That money that was there was gone. So you need to make sure that you have a buffer for a project like this, because it will overrun. All projects do, and I know that, but I just didn't apply it. You know, it's going to take a couple of weekends, mate.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to have a crack, because the thing is, what Franco said, and this extends to you as well, mate. The reason that he wanted to come in and put his finishing touches on it and smash it out was because of the work that we did. He went, you know what? He goes, you guys, we did it wrong, right? Some of the stuff we did wrong, right? That's okay. We knew that. You know what I mean? That was going to happen.
It would have worked out.
It would have worked out. It just wouldn't look as cool as it does, right? It just would not look as cool, definitely. However, he said, he goes, to you and all the boys that were involved, he goes, I want to help you finish it because I love the fact that everyone got in and had a crack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't let it stop us.
Yeah.
And like you said, so much technical stuff that people don't know that, is behind the walls and, in the mountings and the screws and the angle and the this and the that took hours.
There's always something that you haven't considered.
Yeah.
When you're trying to consider everything, there's always something that you probably, have not thought of.
Yeah, haven't thought of. And you need a buffer.
Just go for it.
Uh-huh. And just have a crack. Like
get on YouTube. Ask a mate.
Get on YouTube.
Ask at your local hardware store. For tips.
Well, the local Mitre 10. I've been showing them photos.
Yeah,
because I've been down there 100 times. Like trying to pick their brains and.
They're morally invested.
Yeah. Well, they've also taken a bit of my money as well, to be perfectly honest. But so they've been invested.
No, they're emotionally invested now. You got a new listener.
We've got more than a few new listeners out of it. Yeah. No, it was quite. And do you know that? I tell you what, man. One of the very cool things about this is that because I wasn't real sure what I was doing, I asked questions, and when I'm asking about building supplies or this or that or the other, inevitably someone goes, "What are you doing?" And that allowed me to speak about it. And even just random people were like, "Man, that's super cool. Like that's cool. Let me know how it goes. You know what I mean? Show me when it's finished." And don't be afraid to get out there and just have a crack, but plan it. Have the resources there to buy the majority of the materials that you need straight away. Right. So I mean, even now, like the board. I bought all the board, the stands. I bought everything, the lights, the plaster, all that stuff was pre-bought. The light shade, you know what I mean? It was all pre-done, and it was all just sitting there. So when the time came, it just went whoosh, just went together. You know, I wasn't waiting on anything. I had stuff tucked away to make sure that it got over the line.
Yeah.
And I think, again, don't be afraid to have a crack. Like, yeah, okay, you give me crap about the pylon, but you can't tell. Franco didn't help me with that.
You can't tell, no.
Can't tell.
No,
You
I
know?
know. It's all
You know what I mean?
painted. It looks smooth.
Yeah.
There's nothing hanging out anywhere.
No, it looks great. Right?
Yep.
And also, don't be afraid to break stuff. Like, I broke.
Oh, you got to buy extra.
You got to buy extra, man.
You got to count for a practice run.
Extra
sometimes.
purlings,
Yeah.
extra plaster. You're going to break things. I think we messed up at least 2 sheets along the way. Don't be afraid to mess stuff. And you know how they say measure twice, cut once?
Yeah.
No, 3 times.
You make sure it's 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. They do it 3 times because...
Oh, at 11 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
I was
make it
like,
4.
I think I double checked something 6 times on that window because my teammate was off doing some other project solo.
Well, I wanted the column done.
Yeah,
I knew it was going to work.
Yeah, it's just I know it's going to work. I'm going to prove that it's going to work. You just got to see it when it's done.
Exactly.
It's the best column.
It's the best
There's
column.
no other columns
There's
like
no
this
other
column.
It's a perfect column. Oh, we can't get into that, but that's the fact that Donald Trump is the savior for whatever's left of the free world is a little scary, and we don't have time for that tonight. But we will dig into that in the near future. Yeah, I don't have too much more, man. Plan, buy as much as you can, have a clear vision. Right, I think people get messed up with, and look, for me, because it was a self-worth thing.
What's your why? Like, what's your reason
why?
for
What's
doing
your
it? Do you
reason
just
for
want
doing
to, do a project?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Build a chicken coop?
Do you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve?
Yeah.
Because it's like, but again, thank you to yourself and the boys and my wife and everyone who was so encouraging. Everyone said, don't listen to me, you make it your own. And you said that to me as well. Just you do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Do what you got to do. This is your thing. It's your show. You do what you think is right, and it'll be okay. And even when people weren't sure about the purple, you're like, yeah, okay, if that's what you reckon.
Well, I love it. I really love it.
Yeah. And the thing is, you've got to imagine too that there's going to be timber slab shelving, and it's all going to look mint, and it's not finished yet. However, it's we don't have any cameras in here. I'm going to have 3 camera angles in here for when we go live. There's going to be all sorts of stuff, man, that isn't finished yet, but it's going to be unbelievable. And for the first episode, look, I just thank you, man. Thank you for your time and your effort, and I look forward to our conversations. And you should know the listeners have looked forward to our conversations as well. When I've said that to a few of the boys and some of the listeners I've been talking to about we're going to do cost of awareness, everyone's like, yeah, cool. So people are looking forward to where we take our eclectic rabbit holes.
Yeah. Well, you are more than welcome, and I love being a part of helping you work on this room. It's your project, but I feel like I've been a part of it most steps of the way.
Absolutely have. And as I say, you encouraged me when I needed it. You helped push through when we needed to get it done. And those late nights, man, they weren't friendly, some of them. However, we got it done, man. You know what I mean? And we can sit here, and now UTC 3 is going to take us wherever it's going to take us, man. It's going to be awesome.
Right. So all you owe me is a Yowie trip.
That's what I was going to say. The only payment that I have is a Yowie trip, yes.
Yeah.
Well, don't drive me to a lock gate next time, eh?
Yeah. Well, it's never happened to me before.
Yeah, it never happened since.
I usually find something anywhere in the bush, right? They call me the finder. Yeah, you call me the finder.
We're not allowed to talk about the Panther incident.
Yeah. I make great panther bait.
Yeah. All right, brother. Hey, listen, let's wrap this up. Welcome to the Sanctum, UTC 3. Here we go. It's excellent to be back. This was such fun, and I'm so happy to be back on the mics in this setting. It's going to be awesome. Till next time, brother.
Next time.
Awesome. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Do you just want to go again?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Go again.
All right. I know you been here before. No surprises, settle the score. I know the darkness deep inside, reckless rage, poison pride. I know the anger, I know the pain, and I know the fear we do not name. And the one who comes to find me when my time is through, I know you, I know you. Wow! I know you. Better.